network requires a physical interface between the computer and the networking medium. For most PCs, this interface resides in a special network interface card or NIC, also known as network adapter or a network card, that plugs into an adapter slot inside the computer's case. NIC performs two crucial tasks. The first one, it establishes and manages the computer's network connection, and two, it translates digital computer data into signals from outgoing messages and translates signals into digital computer data for incoming messages. Most computers use a series of parallel data lines, called a computer bus or bus for short, to send data between the CPU and adapter cards. Parallel transmission is a type of data transmission that the data travels multiple lines at the same time, and those lines run parallel, both metaphorically and physically. Serial transmission is a type of transmission that the bits of data follow one another in a straight line or a series. One of the most important jobs a network adapter performs is to grant outgoing transmission from the CPU in parallel form and recast them into their serial equivalents. From incoming messages, the process reverses. The network adapter grabs an incoming series of signals, translates them into bits, and distributes those bits across the parallel lines that communicate with the CPU. So for illustration, a parallel transmission works like a multi-lane highway. Each lane carries part of a stream of traffic, information between sender and receiver. At the same time, serial transmission resembles a one-lane road. One of the most important components on a network adapter is memory, which acts as a holding tank or a buffer. The number of parallel lines that make up a particular kind of computer bus is called its bus width. To transmit data across a network medium, a network adapter must include or access a device called a transceiver that is designed for the specific medium in use. Network adapters also handle important data packaging function as they serialize outgoing parallel data streams from the CPU and translate in incoming serial data streams from the network medium into parallel data. The NIC packages all the bits into orderly collections called frames and transmits individual frames serially onto the network medium. Other important roles of NIC is it plays packaging and preparing data for transmission across the medium and managing access to the medium to know when to send the data. Some NICs can operate in what's called promiscuous mode. This essentially turns off the gatekeeper functions and enable the NIC to forward any frames it sees to the computer. The address of an NIC is called the MAC address because the Media Access Control or MAC functions in the NIC handle it. These addresses take the form of 6 two-digit hexadecimal numbers separated by colons. So for example, 00:67:97:K3:90:A3. PC buses. So a variety of PC bus types, also known as bus architectures, appear in modern PCs. Each bus differs in its layout and configuration. Therefore, it's imperative that any adapter card you want to use matches the bus type of the socket. So the PC bus architectures include the Industry Standard Architecture ISA, Extended Industry Standard Architecture EISA, Microchannel Architecture MCA, Peripheral Component Interface PCI, PCI-X, PC cards or PCM CIA cards, Accelerated Graphics Ports or AGP, and developing bus standards. Of NIC configuration. Once you match a network adapter to a slot in a PC or plug into the serial bus, your next step is to configure it with your computer. Typically, NIC configurations involves working with three types of PC settings. The first one is interrupt request line or IRQ, the second one is base IO port, and the last one is the base memory address. Making the network attachment. So network adapters perform several vital roles to coordinate communications between a computer and a network, including establishing a physical link to the network medium, generating signals that traverse the networking medium, receiving incoming signals, implementing controls for when to transmit signals to receive signals from the network medium. Because the network medium attaches directly to the network adapter or through a transceiver attached to the adapter, it's important to attach the adapter you choose with the medium to which it must attach. When selecting a network adapter, you must first identify the physical characteristics the card must match. These include the type of bus with which card will connect, the type of network technology in use, and the kind of connector or physical attachment the adapter must accommodate. Hardware enhancements options include the Direct Memory Access or DMA, Shared Adapter Memory, Shared System Memory, Bus Mastering, RAM buffering, onboard coprocessors, security features, traffic management, improved fault tolerance, and improved management. When purchasing a network adapter, consider the following purchasing checklist. The first one is the bus width, the bus type, memory transfer, special features required, bus mastering, and vendor factors. Special purpose NICs. In addition to straightforward network adapters, several types of cards deliver specialized capabilities. These include interfaces for wireless networks, as well as special types of interface for so-called diskless workstation, aka thin clients, which must access the network to load an operating system as they boot up. Wireless adapters. So wireless network adapters usually include more gear than conventional cable NICs. Interfaces usually incorporate some or all the following components. So indoor antenna and antenna cable, software to enable the adapter to work with a particular network environment, diagnostic software to check initial installation or to troubleshoot thereafter, and installation software. Although it's unusual, such adapters can be used to build entirely wireless local area networks or LANs. More commonly, they are used with a wireless access point device to add wireless elements to an existing wired network. Remote boot adapters. So in some situations, organizations want to use workstations without disk drives, whether for security reasons, kiosks, or other public access uses. These computers are often called diskless workstations. But because most computers start themselves in a process called boot, by reading information from a disk of some kind, the network must be the source of access to the program needed to boot up a diskless workstation. For such uses, some network adapters include a chip socket for a special circuitry called boot PROM or Programmable Read-Only Memory, which is referred to as PXE or Pre-Boot Execution Environment Compliant. Driver software. Before a network adapter can become more than an inert hunk of metal, plastic, and silicon, a software driver, more formally a device driver, for the card must be installed in your computer. You should become familiar with three major vendor standards that apply to drivers, which are the NDIS, WM, and ODI. The Network Device Interface Specification or NDIS defines the communication interface between the MAC sublayer and the network interface driver. The Win32 driver model or WDM defines a complete adapter card driver interface for PCs that run modern 32-bit Windows operating system. The WDM architecture divides drivers into various bus and device classes by function, enabling generic class drivers to handle common details for the adapter bus and for the type of device to which it attaches. Apple Computer and Novell defined the Open Data Link Interface or ODI not only to allow an NIC to use multiple protocols but also to simplify driver development for NIC manufacturers. The larger manufacturers have a searchable database of problems and their resolution in what is called a knowledge base. A knowledge base allows you to enter a keyword or an error code to search for a problem. If the problem of error has been encountered before, it is likely that the resolution will be posted. The driver software is the key ingredient that permits a network adapter to communicate with the computer's operating system. It's essential to ensure that a valid driver is available for your operating system before purchasing an adapter. Even better, always obtain the latest driver version before installing any network adapter. It's also a good idea to make regular driver upgrades part of your network maintenance routine.